Hey guys, what's happening? Today we are going to be writing polynomial functions. So you know how normally I give you a polynomial function, like let's just say x squared plus 2x plus 1, okay, equals 0. And then I say factor that and then tell me the zeros, right? Okay, well today we're going to be going backwards. Today I'm going to give you the zeros and you're going to work backwards to give me the function. Okay, so it's a, pretty easy concept, okay? We're just working backwards. All right, so again, we're going to be writing a polynomial function of least degree. So what that means is you can have the same zeros in a polynomial of degree 4 as you could in a polynomial of degree 2, okay? You could have the exact same zeros. So basically what we want is a polynomial of the very least degree, okay? So even though a polynomial of degree 4 could have the same zeros as degree 2, we want the polynomial with degree 2, all right? And we want the coefficients to be rational numbers. That just means whole numbers or fractions. And we want the leading coefficient to be 1. And here are my given zeros, okay? So this is how you do it. Remember last time we talked, I told you needed to know the difference between zeros and factors, right? So if these are my zeros, then what are my factors? Okay, if those are my zeros, then what are my factors? Well, if negative 1 is a 0, then one of my factors is x plus 1, okay? If 2 is a 0, then I know my factor is x minus 2. And if negative 3 is a 0, you guessed it, x plus 3. Okay, so now all we have to do is multiply those together. So here we go. So our polynomial function of least degree, it's going to be f of x equals x plus 1 times x minus 2 times x plus 3. And we just multiply those together. So I go x plus 1, I multiply these guys first. Okay, that's what I like to do. I think I showed you that before in your notes. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x, minus 2x is 1x, and then plus minus 6. Okay, and now I'll just distribute to everything. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times x is plus x squared. X times negative 6 is minus 6x. 1 times x squared is plus x squared. 1 times x is plus x. 1 times negative 6 is minus 6. And so my polynomial is f of x equals x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 6. Okay? So that's the whole idea, okay? I know I probably went kind of fast, but I'm kind of assuming that you guys know how to multiply, stuff like that, okay? I know I went kind of fast, but again, if you need to, pause the video, rewind it, play it again. Okay, but basically, if I said, hey, find the zeros of this, you would probably use synthetic division, okay, and you'd work your way backwards and get these zeros, negative 1, 2, and negative 3, okay? All right, so a little side note here. Note, if I is a 0, then so is negative I. Okay? And if the square root of 2 is a 0, then so is negative the square root of 2. Okay? Little side notes there. Okie dokie. All right, you ready? Let's do a challenging example, okay? Here we go. Example. I'm gonna skip the medium. I'm gonna go straight for extreme, okay? So here are my zeros. I'm skipping the medium and going straight for extreme. So my zeros are 3 and 2 minus I. Okay, those are my zeros. All right, now, if you go back here, notice it says If I is a 0, then so is negative I. Okay, think about that for a second. Right here, if I said your zeros are 3, and what if I just put negative I? Okay, then wouldn't you also have I as a 0? Okay, so I would have 3, I would have negative I, and I would have positive I. Here I have 3, and I have 2 minus I. Okay, so doesn't it make sense then that I also have 2 plus I? Okay? So that's basically what you have to do. Anytime you see an I or a square root, you have to have plus and minus. Because remember, where do those plus and minuses come from? They come from when you take the square root, right? Anytime you take a square root of a number, on both sides of an equation, you have to put plus or minus, okay? And these i's come from those square roots too. It's when you take the square root of a negative number. All right, so just keep that in mind. The book will just give you one, you have to write the other one, okay? So here are my factors. Now this is where I might confuse you a little more. This one is easy. So my factors are, that comes from x minus 3, right? It's always x minus whatever you see. Think about it. It's always going to be x minus whatever you see. So if this one says 2 minus I, well then your factor is x minus 2 minus I. Okay? But don't write x minus 2 minus I because you're subtracting the entire thing, right? You're subtracting the entire 2 minus I. Okay? You're subtracting that entire thing. So it's really parentheses around it. Okay? All right, and then you have the other one. You have x minus the entire thing, 2 plus I. Okay, so it's the entire thing, 2 plus I. We have to put parentheses around that. We're subtracting that entire 2 plus I. Okay. All right, now let's clean this up a little bit. My factors are x minus 3, x, distribute the negative, so minus 2, distribute the negative, plus I. Okay, and then here x, distribute the negative, minus 2, distribute the negative, minus I. Okay. All right, now you can, if you want to, go ahead and just distribute everything. Just distribute x times x, x times negative 2, x times negative I. Okay, if you want to distribute everything, go ahead, tune me out for the next couple minutes, okay? But I'm going to show you a really, really clever shortcut. Okay? Check this out. Here's the really clever shortcut that somebody observed. Look at this x minus 2. Doesn't that match this x minus 2 right here? All right. And if you notice, you have an x minus 2 plus I, and you have an x minus 2 minus I. Let me show you what that looks like. If I have x minus 2 times x plus 2, okay, and I decided to multiply that together, isn't it x times x is x squared, x times 2 is plus 2x, negative 2 times x is minus 2x, and negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Look at the middle terms, don't they cancel? And you're left with x squared minus 4. What is that? That's a difference of squares. Okay, so what we have here is the factored form of a difference of squares. So check it out. We have the x minus 3, okay, and then we have x minus 2 times x minus 2 is just x minus 2 squared, right? X times x is x squared. So we have x minus 2 times x minus 2, that's x minus 2 squared. All right, x minus 2 times negative I, don't even worry about that because x minus 2 times positive I, the middle terms will cancel. Okay, and now just positive I times negative I is negative I squared. Okay. All right, now let's clean that up. We have x minus 3, okay. Inside the parentheses, we have x minus 2 squared. Remember, that's x minus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, minus I squared, okay, let's clean that up again, x minus 3 times x is x squared, x times negative 2 is negative 2x, and we have another negative 2x, so that's minus 4x, okay, and then negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, And then we have a minus I squared. Well, remember, I squared is negative 1. So this is minus negative 1, which is really plus 1. Okay? And we'll clean it up one more time. X minus 3 times x squared minus 4x. This is plus 5. Okay? And now all you have to do is multiply everything together. Okay? So here we go. F of x equals, right? We're going to just multiply everything together. We have x times x squared, that's x cubed. X times negative 4x, that's minus 4x squared. X times 5 is plus 5x. Negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative 4x is positive 12x. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And I'll go ahead and do this. F of x equals x cubed minus 7x squareds plus 17 of the x's minus 15. And take a look. Here is my polynomial with the least degree. That's a degree of 3, okay? All of the coefficients are whole numbers or fractions, whatever. They're rational, and the leading coefficient is 1, okay? We did it. That's it. All right? Hopefully that was helpful. I love you guys. Peace.